A very good morning, everyone. We welcome you to CHASCON 2025. May I request all the students who are sitting in the balcony to kindly come down and be seated in the main auditorium, please. I repeat, all the students who are sitting in the balcony, I request them to kindly come down and please be seated in the main auditorium hall downstairs. Also, for the convenience of those who will be joining late today, may I request all those who are sitting at the back to kindly occupy the empty seats in the front, please, leaving first 3 rows in the middle and first 2 rows in the first aisle. All the students, please shift to the front seats. जो लास्ट की सीट पे बैठे हैं, पहले की बहुत जगह है, तो प्लीज़ आगे की सीट ऑक्यूपाई कर लें. एक और रिक्वेस्ट है, आई ऑल्सो रिक्वेस्ट कि प्लीज़ डू नॉट लीव द मिडल सीट्स एम्प्टी. This is again to facilitate all those who will be joining late. So kindly do not leave the seats in the middle. Those who join late, help them in sitting towards the end. This will help to run the process or to run the program smoothly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. As a gesture of our sincere appreciation and warm welcome, may I request our Vice Chancellor Ma'am to kindly felicitate our guests. Chief Guest Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Guest of Honor, Shri Sanjeev Singh, Keynote Speaker, Shri R.R. Mittal. Thank you, ma'am. I now request Professor Kashmir Singh, Coordinator CHASCON 2025, to kindly honor our worthy Vice Chancellor, ma'am. To mark the auspicious beginning of CHASCON 2025, I request all the esteemed guests on the dais to kindly come forward for the lamp lighting ceremony. मानव हिताय विज्ञानम तंत्रम च स्वास्थ्य औधवम सर्वमांगल्ये संकल्पः समुज्ज्वलितो भवतु. Means, for the welfare of humanity, let knowledge and technology and health rise up. May our resolve for universe well-being shine brilliantly. Every edition of CHASCON carries a vision that bridges science and society. To introduce this year's theme, Empowering Humanity Through Science, Technology and Healthcare, I now invite Professor Kashmir Singh to share his thoughts. Professor Kashmir Singh.
Thank you, Dr. Archana. Good morning, esteemed dignitaries, respected professors, distinguished scientists, research scholars, students, and distinguished guests present on the dais. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 18th Chandigarh Science Congress, being held from 6 to 8 November 2025 at Punjab University, Chandigarh, under the esteemed leadership of our worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Reenu, DUI and Director Research Management. I extend my warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you to the vibrant celebration of science, technology and innovation ecosystem of Punjab University and also of India. We are deeply honored to gracious presence of our guests, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Dr. Shri R.R. Mittal ji, Dr. Sanjeev Singh Sethi ji and other eminent dignitaries who will join us today later on, whose contribution in science and education continues to inspire us. Since its inception in 2007, CHASCON has evolved as a premier platform that unites academia, research institutions, industry and policymakers. This year's theme, Empowering Humanity, Science, Technology and Healthcare for All, reflects our shared vision and harnessing scientific knowledge to improve lives and then build a sustainable and inclusive future for all of us. We are privileged to host over 1100 participants from Chandigarh and adjoining states representing diverse universities, institutions and research organizations. Over the next 3 days, CHASCON 2025 will feature plenary lectures, oral and poster presentations, and we have a CHASCON Quiz Show Samvad, bringing together diverse disciplines under one umbrella. A special highlight is the CHASCON exhibitions with 20 innovative exhibits showcasing their creativity and research excellence from our students and scientists and also from the industry people. I warmly acknowledge the science efforts, the sincere efforts of the organizing committee and support teams whose careful planning and dedication have ensured a smooth start in the Congress. In the true spirit of CHASCON, let us come together to learn, collaborate and create. May CHASCON 2025 continue to inspire innovation and strengthen the bridge between research and real world impact. Once again, I warmly welcome you all for the 18th Chandigarh Science Congress edition. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for introducing the theme and setting the tone for the conference. We now proceed for a few releases. Firstly, the release of CHASCON 2025 Souvenir, a compilation of abstracts of all the scientific talks, oral and poster presentations that would take place in these 3 days of scientific amalgamation. I request our dignitaries on the dais to kindly unveil the abstract book. Next, we are pleased to launch the booklet, Trends of Corporate Social Responsibility Investment in Research and Development in India, BSR Reporting Trends
2023-24, prepared by DST Center for Policy Research, Punjab University, Chandigarh. This report has been compiled by Dr. Rupali Janrotia, Shri Manraj Singh. May I request both of them to kindly join for the release ceremony. This report analyzes BRSR data to highlight how CSIR can strengthen India's R&D ecosystem, fostering innovation, sustainability, and inclusive growth. Lastly, we officially release the book on technology transfer, a compilation that celebrates innovation and collaboration. I request Dr. Ravneet Kaur and Dr. Aditi Chauhan, contributors to the book, to kindly join the book release ceremony on stage. A handbook on technology transfer serves as a practical guide on transforming academic research into market-ready innovations. It explains how universities can evolve into key players in national development through technology transfer offices, licensing, effective IP management, and entrepreneurship. Covering patents, licensing, startups, and Indian policy initiatives like Startup India, BIRAC, it highlights collaboration among academia, industry, and government to strengthen the innovative ecosystem. Thank you all for this symbolic launch of knowledge and creativity. It is my honor to invite our worthy Vice Chancellor Ma'am, Professor Renu Vig, to deliver the inaugural address and formally declare CHASCON 2025 open. Ma'am, please.
Dignitaries on the dais, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Chairman, Agricultural Scientist Recruitment Board, Guest of Honor, Shri Sanjeev Singh Sethi, Shri R.R. Mittal, and other dignitaries on the audience, on the stage, students, and faculty of Punjab University. The organizing team of CHASCON this year, after doing a lot of brainstorming, came up with 2-3 titles for the CHASCON, that what should be the orientation of the CHASCON this year. And finally we decided that basically this title is encompassing all the aspects of life. So we are talking about science and technology that empowers humanity, plus healthcare is a very important factor if we want to improve the quality of life. So that's how we decided that the theme of CHASCON this year would be empowering humanity through science and technology and healthcare for everyone. So we all know that science and technology is continuously evolving, and the idea is to give better products to the society and to improve quality of life. So researchers are all the time busy creating better products which have better features, which have better performance, which are smaller in size, and the cost also has to be kept in mind. And the infrastructure for creating these products also has to be improved. Plus, sustainability also has to be kept in mind. with the kind of evolution science and technology has done, with the kind of products that are now available in the market, we know the after effects of using these products and how we are harming the environment. So sustainability is another parameter which scientists and researchers, they have to keep in mind. And in the university, we have created an ecosystem where we are trying to work on different aspects of science, technology, society, industry, and the trends that are there in the market. So we have Northern Region Science and Cluster on PU campus under the umbrella of Regional Accelerator for Holistic Innovations, which is set up in collaboration with IIT Ropar, and it is working on different verticals, from waste management to green energy to healthcare to indigenous technologies and so on. So there are many startups from the northern region which have been funded under this cluster. I think around 16 startups have been funded under this cluster, and the startup which is to be funded, that is decided through competitions. So open invitations are given and the students, they apply and they present their ideas. So based on the kind of innovation and utility the startups have, the decision is taken whether they are to be funded or not. Besides Rahi, there are many other initiatives on the campus. You all know about BioNest. BioNest is nurturing biotechnology oriented startups. And then we have Punjab University Incubation Center also, which has funded a number of startups in different areas. So we want an ecosystem where students are involved not only in their studies, but they are thinking of some innovations which can help improve the quality of life or which can help society or industry. So that, by the time your education is complete, you are able to work on some product which can be commercialized. And DST Policy Research Center has prepared this booklet on technology of transfer also, which we have released just now. We also have Design Innovation Center on the campus, which is again working on different verticals like medical devices and restorative technologies, energy harvesting, AI and machine learning. And the theme of the CHASCON this year includes healthcare for all. So these are, healthcare is a very, difficult component because the problem of each individual is different. And the medicines that are available in the market are generic. And sometimes even the best of the doctors are not able to find the solution to the problem. I can just share with you a small example which was solved with the help of our engineers in the Design Innovation Center. There was a 12-13-year-old girl who met with an accident and her skull was broken. So there was a hollow patch in her skull, and because of that there was swelling in her skull and she was not able to lead normal life. The challenge before the surgeons in PGI was that how to reconstruct that hollow part of the skull. because to reconstruct the hollow part of the skull, they need to know the exact dimensions of the missing part and the exact shape of the missing part. And that is not the job of the doctors to find out that. So a team of students from mechanical engineering department and computer science department, they took images of the skull from different angles, and using finite element analysis, they determined the exact shape and dimensions of the skull and 3D printed the skull. And the challenge was to determine the exact shape and dimensions of the missing part of the skull. And they did it with the help of surgeons from PGI. And finally, the operation could be carried out, and using the bone material, the doctors in PGI, they could fill the hollow part of the skull, and her skull was complete. And she was able to subsequently lead normal life. So there are many such cases like that where doctors alone cannot find the solution and they need help of people with different specialties. That is why we say that multidisciplinary approach is very important if we want to make something useful or give something useful to the society. So during this CHASCON, we have invited different speakers for the benefit of our students and the participants of Chandigarh Science Congress. The chief guest for the inaugural session, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, he joined CSIR Institute of Himalayan Bioresource Technology, Palampur, as a scientist in 1990. And he superannuated as director of the same institute in 2023. During this period, he also held additional charge as director of CSIR, IGIB, CSIR, CSIO, and head of CSIR, HRDG. With a strong emphasis on bioeconomy, the number of technologies and products developed at CSIR IHBT, they surged to 85 during the short period of 15 to 23, when he served as the director, and several of these were commercialized to ensure their availability in the market. He also pioneered the establishment of a startup culture, resulting in the launch of 56 ventures in the institute. The rise of entrepreneurial activity significantly increased industry collaborations also. And it is evident from the 8-fold increase in MOUs and agreements that were signed from 15 to 23. So in the duration 84 to 2014, 110 such agreements were signed, whereas from 2015 to 23, 995 agreements were signed. Guest of honor for the inauguration is Shri Sanjeev Singh Sethi. He is the managing director of Gillard Electronics Private Limited, and our teams, they keep on working with him on different projects. He is the Chief Executive Officer at Gillard Application Programmers LLP based in Mohali, India. He is recognized for leadership in smart manufacturing, Industry 4.0 and global operations, driving innovation and employee empowerment in the company. Gillard is known for manufacturing advanced electromechanical automotive components, and Sanjeev Singh himself emphasizes on technology, quality, customer satisfaction, building high-performing teams, and pioneering new business solutions in both electronics, manufacturing, and software programming. keynote address is to be given by Shri R.R. Mittal, who is former Director General of Telecommunications Engineering Center, and presently he is member of Telecommunication Regulatory Authority of India. Shri R.R. Mittal was appointed as a whole-time member of TRAI in January 25. Before that, he has been head and advisor of the Telecommunication Engineering Center, the technical and standardization arm of Department of Telecommunications. He was an officer of the Indian Telecommunication Services 1985 batch. He has a strong history of international involvement. He has participated in international standardization bodies like ITU, ETSI and 3GPP, and was appointed as chairman of the International Telecommunication Union Study Group 11. With over 35 years of experience, he has contributed to policy making and standards development for new technologies like 5G, IoT, M2M. His experience covers multiple aspects of the telecom sector, including spectrum management, telecom security, and IP version 6 implementation. So when I asked him to come for the keynote address, he said he has been working on the policies, which might be a very dry topic for the students, but somehow I could motivate him to join for the inaugural session. And I'm sure the deliberations that take place during the CHASCON will be beneficial for all of you, and I welcome all the dignitaries who have joined this Chandigarh Science Congress for the benefit of our students and faculty. I wish you all the best. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for introducing our guests to the audience and also highlighting that Punjab University runs a number of programs and centers such as RUSA, RAHI, and innovation and data centers, which are in line with the theme of CHASCON 2025. This is the vision of Punjab University, promoting research that empowers communities. With this, we are privileged to have with us Shri R.R. Mittal, who is the keynote speaker for this inaugural session. May I humbly request Sir to kindly come on the podium to deliver the keynote address. Sir, please.
Thank you, Madam, for your introduction, and thank you, Professor Renu, for elaborate bio that you have mentioned. So, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Chief Guest of the Day, Shri Sethi, in charge of Gilad, Professor Goel, Professor Rawat, Professor Kashmir Singh, esteemed professors, doctors, scientists, researchers, and students. It's my honor to be in front of such an enlightened audience to share some ideas of the role of telecom on healthcare. Let me also say that being an alumni of Punjab University, I would begin with thanking my gurus who have really worked on all the students to lay a solid foundation. Let us look at some of the policy insights, because I said I can talk something on policy. First, the National Health Mission. The NTM envisages achievement of universal access to equitable, affordable, and quality healthcare services that are accountable and responsive to people's needs by supporting states and union territories in strengthening their healthcare systems. So we have schemes like our Ayushman Bharat, ASHA, National Digital Health Mission. National Education Policy. So this envisions an education system rooted in Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India, that is Bharat, sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all. I repeat, high quality education to all, and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. Let me now come to the draft National Telecom Policy 2025. The first action point or the mission is universal and meaningful connectivity goals for 2030. And one of the targets is 4G connectivity for all and 5G connectivity to 98% villages by 2030. We also talk of financial inclusion in terms of the Jan Dhan accounts. So inclusion of all and quality, again, inclusion of all and quality are essential for any public policy goals and objectives. Therefore, the theme for the conference, which also mentioned healthcare for all, is very, very important. A compelling example of success is India's CoWIN platform, which enabled real-time registration, tracking, allocation of various vaccines during the COVID-19 pandemic, ensuring millions received timely doses. This application enabled around 25 million to receive vaccine in one day. Simple technological interventions like cold storage systems with monitoring sensors can safeguard vaccines, medicines, and perishable health supplies in remote areas, preventing wastage and ensuring reliable access. These examples demonstrate that when ideas are applied thoughtfully, technology can extend reach, improve efficiency, and directly improve lives. Now, let me give you one or two very small examples. During COVID, I was in Shillong, and every department was doing its bit. And Department of Telecom, through our scientific society called CDOT, Center for Development of Telecom, we had made available a graphical user interface to the state government. And what state government could do is that on a map of a state, they could select a district or any area through a graphical user interface, or give the PIN numbers of the area they want the message to be sent. So whenever a new testing center was opened, the testing centers came up slowly. There was no testing center initially, as you may recall. So when a new center came, the population had to be informed that this is the nearest center. If you have COVID-like symptoms, you go there. So with this interface, state government, at least in Meghalaya, used it extensively to send the message across that, okay, now this center has come. So this is some way telecommunication playing some part in healthcare. Another example of COVID is when any person used to travel, they were asked to stay in house for 1 week, 10 days, depending. So we used to take the number and put it on a geofencing. So if he's moving, normally person will move with a mobile. So on a map, we will know that he is outside his residence. If he's gone 200, 300 meters away, even to the market, it will be known. So the health volunteers really approached those who were asked to be confined, and they were obviously the population that time, everybody was very cooperative, and then they understood that they violated and better they not do that. So we talked of two important things, inclusion and quality. Let me first take inclusion in telecom. In telecom inclusion, we call it digital inclusion. So what is digital inclusion and what does it mean? Digital inclusion means ensuring that every citizen, regardless of geography, gender or income, can access, afford and meaningfully use digital technology. If a student is attending an online class in a remote area, a shopkeeper in a small place is accepting a payment, a farmer on his mobile phone is checking the crop prices, then this is digital inclusion in action. It matters because technology today shapes every aspect of our lives. education, healthcare, governance, and livelihoods. Without inclusion, digital growth risks becoming uneven, deepening divides rather than bridging them. Let me throw some numbers. In the telecom, we feel very good about those. 1.22 billion mobile customers. 1.22 billion mobile customers. 680 in urban areas. 540 million in rural areas. The data cost in India, 9 rupees 8 paisa, amongst the cheapest in the world. These are remarkable achievements, but the true measure of progress lies in how evenly this access reaches every village, every community, and every household. However, more men have access to smartphones than women. More urban residents have access than those in rural areas. These are the findings of a government survey. Now, this is what we call as digital divide. It's just the opposite of digital inclusion. So digital divide is a quiet reminder that technology is not just about connectivity. It is also about design, opportunity, and the unconscious ways our systems are built, often favoring some over others. Therefore, if we truly want science and technology to empower, we must take cautious steps to make them more inclusive. We must design systems that serve all, leaving no one behind, and ensure that the promise of innovation reaches every individual everywhere. Connectivity, as we know, is given by two. It can be wired. Gone are the days when we used to dial a landline phone. I don't know how many youngsters of late would have used a landline phone, because we are now used to using the mobile phone. One is the wireline and other is the wireless. But you will immediately be thinking, when I'm talking of quality, but you're not getting the quality in the telecom network. Now I'll talk about it in little detail also, but one or two main reasons of quality is the right-of-way issues. Right-of-way issues means if a fiber has to be laid, the district authorities or the municipalities must give a permission to dig the fiber. Forest, if it is you want a coverage in a forest or a defense land, those permissions are required, even for fiber, even for tower, because a tower can be erected, but there are a whole lot of permissions that are required. Now, I'm sure you all have been reading newspaper, so we are keenly waiting for satellite internet. So 3 companies have taken the license. One of them is Starlink, other is the Bharti with the OneWeb Alliance, and the Jio with the SCS Alliance. The advantage of satellite is it's in the sky, and apart from the gateway that we need, and we need a couple of gateways throughout India to provide the coverage, you do not need right-of-way permission. So that's why this is a very promising technology. As I speak, Starlink is testing its gateways in Mumbai. There is a whole lot of security clearance required for any communication equipment to really go live there. And I think in 2 or 3 months, we should be having a satellite internet broadband. We do have satellite internet, but the present satellite internet is through the geostationary orbit. The one which we are talking is on the LEO, the low Earth orbit, and the latency or the delay in the uplinking and the downlink will really be handled. We are also about to give spectrum for Wi-Fi 6 and 7. All devices have 2.4 and 5 frequencies, but 6 and 7 will also enable a higher download speed while you are indoors. Let me share some thoughts also in quality of service, taking into account the interplay of health and telecom. In pursuit of a more inclusive, equitable and healthier world, the convergence of science, technology and healthcare stands as a transformative force. At the heart of this convergence lies a silent enabler, telecommunication. More specifically, the quality of telecom service and the revolutionary capabilities of 5G are redefining how humanity accesses and benefits from innovation. Quality of service is not a technical metric, and if I may say mere, it's a measure of access and opportunity. In healthcare, high quality of service ensure telemedicine consultations are uninterrupted, remote diagnostics are accurate, and emergency communications are reliable. For rural and underserved populations, this can mean the difference between life and death. The advent of 5G amplifies this impact. With ultra-low latency, massive device connectivity, and unprecedented data speeds, 5G enables real-time robotic surgery, or can enable, if it's not there now, AI-powered diagnostic and immersive medical training through augmented reality. It empowers scientists and doctors to collaborate across continents, share data instantly, and accelerate breakthrough in genomics, epidemiology, and drug development. 5G standards are different if you want a voice communication, and they are different if you have an emergency critical requirements. Because the two main metrics are latency, that you should not have a delay in the uplink and the downlink of signal, and the other is that you should not have a packet drop beyond the limit, otherwise the quality will not be there. As we stand at the intersection of possibility and purpose, let us recognize telecom quality of service not just as infrastructure but as an invisible thread weaving science, technology, healthcare into a tapestry of hope for all. Now, as per industry estimates, the 70 to 80% of data consumption is indoor. So while we are indoor, we are consuming 80% data. If we are on the street, walking, or on a car, or on a scooter, motorcycle, the data consumption is. So these are actual figures. Now, why quality of service is not up to the mark? I'm sure if I have to throw open the question, so everybody of you will have some bad experience to tell. First of all, coverage to begin with was mandated on the street level. So the service providers was asked that, okay, you cover these many districts, this much of a rural area, give us street level coverage. It was not planned for indoor coverage to begin with. Second is a law of physics. When you are inside a room, for every wall penetration, there's a loss of 10 dB of a signal level, so which directly affects quality because you need a certain signal strength to really have a meaningful conversation or to really have a satisfying data experience. Another fact of matter is that the service providers have been restrained to transmit at a power which they would have want, because there is International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection. It has a norm. Let's say it has a norm of 1 watt of power at a particular resistance. So our regulations are 10 times more stringent. So that means if at a particular point, internationally you could have 1 watt of power reaching there. Here you can only have 0.1. And that is again because there were some social activists who said that it could be a signal, higher signal could be a health issue, and a team of doctors and regulators from ICMR and telecom, and then they decided that let us begin with a rigid, so that the customer should be satisfied that the health is not at stake. But yes, so if you are 10 times more stringent on radiation, you will. Again, I already mentioned that the infrastructure laying is a problem because of the right of way issue. Of course, in whole of the government approach that we now talk about, there is a portal for applying and there is a central monitoring that why RWOs are delaying. But then there is a state government, there is a central government, there is a municipality, and many, you know how complex this can at times become. Now, I would also, having talked about issues in quality of service, at least in the telecom, I'll want to inform you briefly what, after all, TRI is doing. So, as of late, we have said that all the coverage maps of all the service providers should be on their website. So, how much you are covering for 2G, 3G, 4G, 3G of course is dead mostly. 2G, 4G, 5G, you are covering, you show it on the website. Then we do independent drive tests every month. We have a mandate to cover drive tests with the help of team. Then we must ask them to put those results onto your website so that a customer, if he's a new customer, if he wants an informed decision making, he should go and see how much is the coverage, how the service providers is faring. We've also made some parameters, voice call connection. I mean, there are a whole lot of that. Okay, now, if you attempt 100 calls, 98% must connect. So all those parameters related to handover, we are moving. The call has to be handed over, or the data session has to be handed over from one cell to the other. So all those things have been done. Another important thing I would like to inform is digital rating index that we have come for the buildings. When you construct a house, the municipality comes and terminates the electricity at the panel. Similarly, the water also will come. Similarly, the pipe gas will also come. So whatever internal wiring or internal flow of water you want to do, of course the gas comes only to the kitchen, you will do. But in telecom, in mobile, you expect the best of signals, obviously, because we are directly their customer. Of course, part of it, we have Wi-Fi now, and while we are indoor, you can really access, because the Wi-Fi quality is really good and you really prefer Wi-Fi over a cellular signal that may be coming. But what we have said is that, and we have empaneled nine such agencies, digital communication rating agencies. So that means every time a new building comes, there should be a property manager who should be in charge of providing a small room where the telecom operators and the fiber to the home providers can put their equipment centrally. There are many technical solutions, distributed antenna system, leaky cables, secure Wi-Fi, whether he does that or not. So whether the property is, and then if the property is rated by one of the empaneled agencies of TRI, so the customer has a confidence that I get sunshine, I get so many things, but whether do I get also the signal which I want. So this is what, and we have actually started a logo competition for the DCRA, and I would request young minds here to really participate in that index, and it will be good service to TRI also. Now, having discussed quality and the inclusion, let me discuss some technologies which we are looking forward in telecom, how they will shape the future of telecom, the future of connectivity. But I am also sure it will be, healthcare experts are also keenly looking into those aspects. The first one is the terahertz wave. The terahertz band is 0.3 terahertz to 30 terahertz. It lies in the cusp of electronics and photonics. So till 0.3 terahertz or 300 gigahertz, we have the electronic range where we produce radiation with the transistors. And above 30 terahertz, as you know, is the optical region for the laser diodes. Between these two, it was actually called a terahertz technology gap, but it has many uses. I'll read out some. Scientific measurement for Earth from satellites, wireless sensing and imaging, biomedical imaging, material and gas sensing, gas detection, localization, and also coming to telecom, high-speed point-to-point wireless data access. Now, why I say terahertz is important, now you are getting a download speed in 5G of 100 of megabits per second. But the ITU, or the International Standardization Group, or International Telecommunication Union, is already working on standards for 60. The 60 goals are clear. You must get a download speed of 1 gigabit. So that's the target. Now to get 1 gigabits per second on customer, the backhaul, because after all the traffic will be concentrated, and the backhaul must have terabits per second capability, and that capability telecom is hoping to get from the use of terahertz spectrum. Now the government has realized the importance of the spectrum. In fact, some of the academic institutions have been funded for research on terahertz capable material, the waveguides that has started. There is authorization, terahertz authorization, which will be terahertz experimental authorization from 95 gigahertz to 3 terahertz. It will be called THIA. All R&D institutes, academic institutes, it will be given at a cost of 1,000 rupees for a period of 5 years. So whenever it comes, I'm sure if any of the students or anybody is interested. I must also tell you the Telecom Act after 1885 was first time amended, and Telecom Act 23 came into being, and the section 27 kind of talks of setting up of a regulatory sandbox. That means government for the first time is encouraging that you have labs, test, take the permission, make it, it's very easy. So you will agree that there is a growing emphasis on science and technology and innovation. Honorable PM inaugurated Emerging Science and Technology Innovation Conclave ESTIC, right, on the 3rd of November. It was till 3rd to 5th November in Bharat Mandapam, and he announced the allocation of 1 lakh crore for research, development and innovation. So that is the kind of emphasis from the government that is coming. Now the second topic I have chosen for which is affecting health or positively, I mean, is the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is shaping the way communication technologies serve society in the field of accessibility. AI is enabling a more inclusive digital environment for persons with disabilities. Speech-to-text systems, real-time captioning, and AI-based sign language translation tools are transforming how people engage with broadcasting, education, and online platforms. Telecom networks enhanced by AI can dynamically adjust video quality, optimize bandwidth, and personalize interfaces for users with visual or cognitive impairments, bridging communication gaps, and expanding participation in digital economy. In healthcare, the convergence of AI and telecommunication is creating new frontiers for equitable service delivery. AI-driven diagnostics are supporting early detection of disease such as cancer, tuberculosis, diabetic retinopathy. Combined with the speed and latency that 5G offers, telemedicine has evolved into a real-time remote consultation, surgery assistance, and continuous health monitoring, making quality healthcare accessible even in remote areas. But AI has a problem. The problem is everybody is worried what kind of a teaching or the learning it is imparted to the AI, whether the algorithms are fair or not. So the large learning model, as they call, it has to be transparent. That's the call of regulators. And as a so the issues of fairness, safety, and accountability have gained importance. Algorithms must remain transparent, explainable, and free from bias, especially from when used in socially critical sectors. So in TEC, we had taken some steps by formulating India's first AI fairness assessment standard, and this work was taken up at the international level so that it can be finally formed. We are all aware of sustainable development goals. healthcare is there, clean water is there, sanitation is there. At the international level, the World Health Organization and the International Telecommunication Union, both bodies of the United Nations, they have collaborated and they have, so there is a series of meetings and a report which is being published occasionally, and it is called AI for Good. So the message I want to give is that the international level, the UN has admitted that some of the sustainable development goals, the technology has real role to play, and AI is one of them. Now the third thing, and the last, I don't know how much time I've taken, is quantum computing. Quantum computing is expected to give stimulus to healthcare by increasing the compute power in the area of drug discovery, disease detection, and precision medicine. Quantum, let us understand in a simple way. Suppose in a dark room you lose a locket, old locket, and you're searching with your smartphone headlight. So the chances are very less that you will be able to search it, because it's limited by the method you have chosen. But in quantum computing, it's however like searching with a floodlight. So it explores multiple possibilities simultaneously and drastically increasing your chance of success. Quantum computing is revolutionizing the way we approach science. It enables us to stimulate molecular behavior in countless ways, paving the path for developing new medicines, designing more efficient batteries, and even predicting extreme health patterns. You must be knowing that there is a national mission on quantum technology. 6,000 crore has been earmarked. There are 4 pillars of that. One is quantum computing, one is quantum communication, other two are quantum sensing and metrology, and quantum material and devices. Among the many foundational pillars of quantum computing is research on the two-dimensional material, an area that demands accelerated progress. India has already a strong talent base, but what we need now is a robust lab-to-market pathways that converts research into real-time world innovation. Now, the basic fundamental, as I can understand, property of quantum is giving us the compute power, raw compute power, but it is challenging communication. It is challenging security of our communication, because the security algorithm or the cryptographic algorithms that we thought will take years and years can be broken within few hours with the quantum computer. So that's why one of the mission, one of the technological areas is quantum communication, because though it is very good for the compute, but it is challenging, and I mean we all must be concerned. The bank use security algorithms. So whether the quantum communication solution bringing in the security must keep pace with the speed which the quantum computing is coming. So there are 2 camps in quantum cryptography. The first is the hardware-based approach, the quantum key distribution. The key is distributed between 2 points on a wire or a satellite using the physics. So this is called the physics solution. You generate a key based on the quantum laws and you transfer it. The other is called a maths-based solution. The maths-based solution is that you choose a totally new algorithm which will be resistant to be broken by a quantum computer. So this is what we call as a software-based solution. So where the telecom network or the banking system employ which solution is too early for me to really take a call. But quantum communication is getting due attention. In fact, TEC under Department of Telecom every year holds the International Quantum Conclave in the month of February in Vigyan Bhavan. I would request if those who are interested can really participate. There are some international speakers also. Of course, it's online also. You will gain. So, in the end, the scientist, the researcher, the engineer, and the entrepreneur state all must work together to build this world. I wish every scholar present here the very best in their endeavors. Let your curiosity, creativity and compassion guide you. Together we can build a future where knowledge, innovation and humanity walk hand in hand, creating a society that is inclusive, inventive and inspiring for generations to come. I also wish the Chandigarh Science Congress. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your address speaks of your vast experience in the telecommunications sector, covering multiple aspects such as telecom management, security and implementation. Thank you for sharing, giving examples and stories, insights on connectivity, innovation and transformative power of science for inclusive growth. Again, highlighting the essence of the theme of CHASCON 2025. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Now I invite guest of honor, Shri Sanjeev Singh Sethi, a visionary industrialist and alumnus of the Punjab University, on the podium, please.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Denovic, respected Chief Guest Dr. Sanjay Kumar, esteemed keynote speaker Mr. Mithar, I see Professor Grover sitting here in front of us, respected faculty members and students. Let me just start from where Mr. Mithar finished. He gave us a very nice talk on connectivity. He went into the intricacies and technologies of connectivity. I am the only person here from industry, and I would like to thank the university for calling me here. I am a strong focus on industry, academia, collaboration, and I think that is one connectivity which we will need to improve upon as we go along. I am very pleased to see the launch of these two books today. One is talks of corporate social responsibility, and other talks of technology transfer, and both these books are very, very relevant for the industry and academia connect. So I'd like to congratulate the authors as well as the university to pick up such lovely topics and to come up with this. So I would say that it's an honor and a privilege to join you today at the inauguration of CHASCON 2025, which I believe is on the 18th year today. This platform that truly celebrates science, innovation and the spirit of collaboration. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Punjab University for hosting this remarkable event and for choosing such a powerful and timely theme, empowering humanity, science, technology and healthcare for all. This theme beautifully captures what we as a society must strive for. Progress that is not just technological but also humane, inclusive and sustainable. At our company, Gillard Electronics, we have experienced firsthand how a thoughtful application of technology can uplift lives and strengthen communities. Our journey from a small manufacturing setup to a globally recognized enterprise in smart manufacturing industry 4.0 has been guided by one simple idea: technology should serve people and not the other way around. In the modern world, where automation, artificial intelligence and digital transformation are redefining industries, the human element still remains the most vital. Machines can process data, but only people can turn data into purpose. And it is purpose which leads our growth and activities. That is why, as we invest in innovation, We also invest deeply in our people, in training, in empowerment and in collaboration. And this is where again academia and industry must come together more closely than ever. Universities like Punjab University, they nurture brilliant minds, they conduct cutting edge research and cultivate curiosity, while industry provides a testing ground where ideas become impactful solutions. So that is where we need to get them together, the ideas as they are conceived, the research work which is being done and how they are implemented on the shop floor. So together we can accelerate India's vision of becoming a global hub for innovation, technology and manufacturing. I am particularly pleased to see CHASCON bringing together experts from diverse fields, from healthcare and biotechnology to electronics and entrepreneurship. The convergence of disciplines is where the next wave of breakthrough will happen. The future belongs to those who think across boundaries. Scientists who understand business, entrepreneurs who understand ethics, and engineers who understand empathy. To the young researchers here today, I would tell them that you stand at the threshold of an era of immense opportunity. The world is changing faster than ever before, and it comes with the responsibility to innovate with integrity. Let your work not only push the frontiers of science, but also uplift society. Remember, every invention, every algorithm, every discovery, it has a human story behind it. Make that story one of hard work, compassion and courage. Let us not forget that empowering humanity means ensuring that the benefits of technology and healthcare reach everyone, in cities and villages alike. True innovation is inclusive. It creates access, not inequality. Whether it's through digital health plans, health platforms, renewable energy, or smart manufacturing, our goal must always be to leave no one behind. Technology should become a common place for everybody. As we begin this 3-day celebration of ideas, I have no doubt that CHASCON 2025 will spark new collaborations, inspire young minds, and reinform our collective belief that science and technology are above all tools for human betterment. Once again, I thank the organizers for this opportunity and extend my best wishes for a successful and inspiring conference. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for reminding us that industry and academia go stronger when they collaborate for societal impact. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming our chief guest of the day, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, to the podium for his address, please.
Very good morning to you all. Honorable Vice Chancellor of this great university, Professor Renoviti. And I must tell that this university, I always call it as the cradle of knowledge, because the thinkers and doers that this university has produced is enormous. An organization like CSIR was established by an alumni of this university, Dr. Shanti Nagar. So this nation owes a lot to this university, not a small. I was so happy to listen to Shri Mittarji. I think you will all agree one thing, that if you are able to talk to the globe today, it is because of the technologies like 5G that he has been ensuring that it is accessible to each and every one of us who is sitting in this hall. And today, for the first time, I knew that even walls can impede our connection. So we'll be very cautious while making our houses. We just heard our guest of honor, Shri Sanjeev Sethi, and I think if you talk of smart manufacturing and industry 4.0, nothing better than that. On the stage, we have Madam Goyal, Madam Rawat, our Kashmir Singh. So happy to see him taking this university's, this CHASCON to the next level. And in the audience, I was so happy to see Professor Grover. Once we had a chance to listen to him at IHBT Palampur. Sir, you might recall, and there, if you had to find anybody who is living encyclopedia of science and technology, nothing better than Professor Grover, you will all agree. I think he is a mentor who inspires all of us, and through his silence, but you see his work. I think, sir, when we see your leadership with a purpose, I remember in INSA when we met, you talked about, how the scientific contribution of some of our scientists, including Dr. Girish Sani, who was at that time the DG CSIR, it should reach to each and every person. So I was so happy once Kashmir said that even Professor Grover will be here among the audience. I said it will be a matter of great honor to speak something. Although speaking in front of luminaries like him, it will be very, very difficult. But still we'll try our level best. I think he is our mentor, and I feel you all sitting youngsters in this hall, actually you are our inspirers. And one thing very interesting in this hall is, for the first time I am seeing a hall where gender biasness is visible. Normally it is a skewed ratio. Even in the stage you will see there is some gender biasness is not there. It's a gender equality is there. So gender equality is visible on the stage and also off the stage. That is something very unique. All this conference. Yesterday we finished with the Guru Nanak Dev Ji's birthday. And I thought, let me start with one of his saying, which is very pertinent to all of us. And I really like that thing. He says that truth is the highest virtue. But higher still is truthful living. And you see, simple words, but makes lot of sense, even to the communities like what we all belong to, that scientific community. We can say that we are very truthful, but are we living truthful? I think that's important. And I'm so happy to see when I see the progress of this university, its proud legacy of learning, innovation, leadership, all these services under the able guidance of Professor Renovich. The way it is progressing, I think it's fantastic. Today is 6th November, and exactly 1 month back, I thought, after seeing these youngsters, I am prompted to say something. What happened 1 month back, exactly on 6th of October? Nobel Prize was announced in medicine. And I thought I will share some of the points of that Nobel Prize and what message it takes for all of us. And how should we be doing research? I thought I'll just mention a few points from there. And Nobel Prize, how much is the award is? It's around some 10.3 crore rupees. That is the value of award. 11 million Swedish kroner. And this time award was given for the purpose our pacemakers, peacemakers of our body. Why the immune system of our body does not recognize some part of our body as the enemy. Right? For that purpose only this award was given. And I thought I'll share some of the points about this award. Probably that will convey some of the messages. You know, although this award was given in 2025, but you know, everything starts with a simple observation of nature. If you remember in 1980s, people were doing some experiment with animals and they removed thymus. You know, thymus is an organ where our defense cells, they mature. If you remove that thymus, then what happens? Suddenly body starts attacking its own organs. And people were surprised what this phenomenon is. Then another scientist from Japan came and he injected some of the fluid from that thymus and the body became normal. It stopped recognizing its organ as the enemy. It means there is something in that thymus which was telling the body that this is your friend, this is your enemy. And these are the cells, if there is some attack from outside, they will go and kill it. Then further, you know, they kept on working on it. Somebody discovered some cells, they called it as a T cell because it was derived from thymus. Then next batch of scientists, they came, they worked on it, they identified the gene. And only in 2025, that award was given. Everything started with a small observation. But then people followed it across the globe. Doctors use it. Like for example in heart transplantation, kidney transplantation, because normally you understand this organ rejection. So the key point here is, for a scientist, getting a Nobel Prize, is it so difficult? I was just wondering. With the young mind sitting in this hall, do you think it is so difficult for them to identify an observation? You tell me. I don't think so. Only thing is, we often are in rush to do something or the other, rather than on focusing an observation which can lead to some sort of innovation at the end. But then it had several steps. It's not only that observation was sufficient. Then there was exploration. Then there was discovery. And discovery phase in India, I think we should really think of focusing. Discovering is not something which is not present anywhere. It is already present in the nature. You just have to discover it. So that discovery phase is very important. Then from discovery phase, invention comes. You have discovered, but what new thing you can create out of that invention. And then comes your innovation. How you apply it for general public. And then certainly comes your diffusion. Then comes disruption. And that's what this simple observation that if you remove a thymus from your body, it starts recognizing other organs of the body as your enemy. It laid the basis what people got to be the Nobel Prize. Is it not marvelous? That now everybody is using it. And I think some of you sitting in this hall, I am sure, they'll be prompted that why only 10 crore rupees has to go to Japanese and Americans? Why not to Indians? Why after C.V. Raman we are not getting that sort of award? We need to think about it. I think second, simple, because it is related to health. Just sitting here, I was prompted by the eyes of our youngsters. What about our CRISPR-Cas technology? Everybody does sequencing. Everybody was doing sequencing. Everybody was analyzing data. But somebody analyzed that between these repeats there is some spacer. Then someone realized that what this spacer is for. Somebody sitting there, he said, oh, this is part of virus which was attacking that bacteria. Now the innovation and invention part for which the Nobel Prize was given, the person realized that that function as a memory for the bacteria, that is small part of the spacer which was taken from the virus. So next time when virus attacks, bacteria knows, okay, this spacer is part of that virus, we should attack him, and they would kill him, right? So that researchers then they said, if bacteria can recognize the spacer of the virus, it can recognize if you put that portion from any other organism as well. They did it. It succeeded. Now you are doing gene editing. And only few years back, or I would say a few months back, this gene edited rice varieties were released in India. Simple observation, somebody was doing sequencing, they identified, they learned something unusual, they went after it, they succeeded. What is so difficult? I fail to understand. Only difficult part is that observation, following up of that observation, coming to that discovery level, inventing out of it, innovating it, and then diffusing it. So happy to see that for the diffusion, what those two books have come with, Lars have also mentioned. It's so important. Unless you are able to diffuse it, which can do disruption in the society like internet. And nowadays, red boxes have disappeared, in front of the post office. If I remember correctly, few days back that news came, everybody uses internet only for communication. That disruption is needed. And I think from this CHASCON, if some of you, after 5 years, or 10 years, or 15 years, are able to get that 11 million kroner that we are going to look for. And I don't think it is so difficult. And I'll give you a few examples, what Indians can do. Since I just mentioned about that rice, if you remember in 1960s, when Green Revolution did not take place, if anybody would buy an apple, he will buy only an apple. And then there is a proverb, an apple a day keeps doctors away. So if anybody would fall sick, they will buy some fruits and they will take it. It was a precious thing. And today you see fruits on every street. At that time we were hardly growing any food crops. And today we are growing 355 million tons of fruits and vegetables and flowers. I think it's significant improvement in India just in last 65 years. It's not a very big time period. You remember in 1960s our food production, grain production was only 82 million tons. And we were importing our wheat from America. Professor Grover and the elder population would remember that red wheat that we will get from US, and if our Indian politician would say anything against America, they would change the direction of the ship. So our situation was ship to mouth. That was our scenario. But today we are growing 353 million tons of food grains. And in COVID you must all have seen what happened. 80 crore people were fed without taking any money. That is our scenario today. At one time we were hardly getting any food, and today we are feeding the whole, not only nation, but across nation also we exported. Is it not lesser? And that is the reason when Professor M.S. Swaminathan received Bharat Ratna and the Nobel, this World Food Prize, only for this reason. You remember milk production, for example. Right now India is topping in the whole world, 239 million ton milk production. At one time, before Korean War was there, we hardly had any milk. If you have cows and buffaloes in your home, and today we enjoyed nice Varka curd and paratha in the guest house, and people are so proudly saying that Varka products are so good. It's only because of white revolution that took place in this country. And it has been done by people like you, nobody, not by anybody else. So today you might feel, now we have progressed enough, what else is needed? And you know, from here only our next phase starts. When we were working, what we realized, although we have self-sufficiency as far as grains are concerned, our fruits are concerned, but still one small ingredient known as asafoetida or hing, which everybody uses, and you know, children cannot grow without hing, I can guarantee you, because you know, as a child grows, he has a gastric problem, and it is the only hing which cures, at least in India. And hing, all hing comes from Afghanistan, Iran. India does not grow hing. First of all, people thought that hing is a part of some rock extract. Somebody said it comes from some animal, but actually it's a plant product. You will be surprised. India is the consumer of hing. We consume around 1,500 tons of hing every year. But all is imported from Afghanistan, Iran. So we were the first one. We said we should try to at least empower our country in getting this hing. If tomorrow something happens in Afghanistan, we won't even get our hing. So once we said that we introduced this hing for the first time in country in 2020. So once we released this message, suddenly, you know, our DG was Dr. Mande at that time. So he tweeted this, that at lab at Palampur they introduced hing in India. And then immediately Smriti Irani, she wrote, "Are you sure, Doctor? We are consumer of hing and we don't grow hing in this country?" Then it message spread to PMO. Everybody was worried. Then my DG, he received a call. He asked me to reconfirm that, "Are you sure that India does not grow hing?" I said, 100%, sir. You confirm, then he confirmed on DGICR. So, what my point of letting you know, that even today, if you try to dig into the deep depth, you will realize that there are several things on which India is dependent. All your reagents which you use in biochemistry and molecular biology, how many of you are making of your own? You just let me know, please. So, and you will realize that you all depend on some, I don't want to name some brands, but you all are dependent on particular brand. India still is dependent on your molecular biology kit, biochemistry kit, anything you talk and you are dependent. Even I'll come back to the food. I'll come back to the agriculture sector. You know, in the month of April, we used to have a lot of tourist rush to Srinagar. While we are going to see the Mul garden and to see the tulip gardens. So we also went, we said, very nice tulips, from where you are getting it? They say, sir, we get it from Netherlands. With a lot of pride the person used to tell us. I said, what is so pride about it to getting from Netherlands? Can't we grow these bulbs? He said, no, we can't grow. In India, we don't have to use bulb production technology. Can you believe this? We are, every year, we are giving crores of rupees to Netherlands just to have this tulip bulbs. We said, man, this is not done. We have to develop the indigenous technology. So we took around 3 years. In 2022, we opened the first tulip garden. Using the bulbs which is produced in India. Then what happened? Ram Mandir Pratishtha was to take place. And it was desired that we should offer all the flowers which are produced indigenously. Can you believe? When we sent this tulip bulb from Palampur for Ram Mandir Pratishtha, it was a headline news that Ram Mandir was given the tulip bulb which was produced in India. Can you believe even things like floriculture? We are dependent on outside world. Then Delhi municipality they contacted us that at least in Rashtrapati Bhavan we should have tulips which are made in India. Right? You all will be surprised during COVID when everybody was to take kata for kata or decoction. You wanted some licorice or mulatti, you wanted some dalchini or cinnamon. You know, India does not have licorice, India imports cinnamon in spite of the fact that center of origin of cinnamon is in Kerala. What is this scenario? So somebody has to sit down and see on how many things India is dependent on outside world for such things. We once went to Northeast and we had a meeting with the Honorable Chief Minister of his state, and he was telling that all our people are engaged just in cultivating some nonsense thing related to opium and something of that category. And then we asked him, why don't you start cultivating some fruit crops? And what we realized, you know, apples in Northeast, they were either coming from Burma, or if they were coming from J&K, they will all get spoiled because of long distance. We said we have the tissue culture technology, and India is a pioneer in tissue culture technology. Why can't we do this tissue culture based apple cultivation in Northeast? So we empowered our several tissue culture firms, did grafting, all those, and you know, and today you go and see in the Northeast. Once the Honorable Prime Minister in his Mann Ki Baat mentioned that, you know, people sitting in Northeast are getting trained from Himachal Pradesh and are cultivating apples. Is it the story of making India reliant? And I think people sitting in this hall should certainly go with the message. Like we just heard Shetty Saab, so proudly he connects academia with industry. Mittal Saab, he takes all our indigenous technologies to the world. I think even plant healthcare, we should certainly focus on what are the things on which India is still dependent. Make a list. At least, you know, when we were doing molecular biology, we said at least primers, we should have our own design. RNA isolation solution, we should have our own design. Small things I am just mentioning. But you know, it gives you a lot of insight. So can you think, and you must, that what are the things on which you should all focus? When Kashmir Singh told me that you have more than 1100 people, such a pious number, you know, 1100, such a nice number, you should ultimately come out something good once you leave this conference. And I am sure that the type of lectures has been arranged in this conference are phenomenal. And I will just leave you with two examples, two international examples, the way of doing science. And I am very much, you know, I like those examples very much. Sometimes where we fail. Sir, you might remember the origin of GPS. In 1957, when this Sputnik was launched by Russia, people sitting in applied physics laboratory in Johns Hopkins, they noticed that whenever Sputnik would come near to Earth, it will give a deep sound, and when it goes away from the Earth, it will, you know, sound will diminish. The Doppler effect. Then their director, he asked one question. You know, therefore asking question and observation is so important. He asked them, see, if you are able to monitor sitting here, where is the satellite? Can't satellite tell where you are? That's the GPS, right? And that question ultimately gave rise to GPS, what we all of us are using today. Just a small question. So always think, if something is happening, try to do a cross question, and something new will happen, I can guarantee you. Another example, sir, I like it very much, and that is a class example. You know, normally all students, they have a habit of entering class late, and several of us. Yeah, so we won't even show our face to the teacher, we'll sit at the back of the bench. So one such day it happened, and it was 1939 in UC Berkeley. Person was sitting at the back bench, and suddenly he saw his professor had written 2 problems, and he said he thought that it is the homework. So he noted it down, and when he came back home, he wanted to solve those problems, and those were very difficult problems. And he took around 2 months or so. When he went back to the class teacher was surprised. He said, "This is the most difficult problem in statistics, which nobody is able to solve those problems. How did you solve it?" And now the candidate was surprised. He said, "I did not know that I can't solve it. Therefore I solved it. If I knew that I can't, then I will never." And that's what happens. If students, if you have that courage to say and to think that you can do it, you will do it. But if you say it's so difficult, we can't do it, you can't do it. So sometimes not knowing is better than knowing. So I wish CHASCON all the very best, and I am sure that some of you, maybe after 20 years, 30 years, or maybe who knows, after 10 years, come say that this 11 million kroner is in my pocket. Wish you all the best, and we look forward for a distant Bharat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening address. We agree that observation is the seed and innovation is the bloom. Starting from whether it is DNA polymerase to PCR to DNA sequencing or gene editing, all are examples of good observation. To all the young minds sitting in this hall, one take-home message that we must take with us is that we have to be good observer. And sir, I also endorse your observation on the gender equality on the dais and off the dais. And I truly believe that equality isn't a favor, it's a right. We rise together and the world shines better. With this, I would now like to invite Professor Meenakshi Goyal, Director Research and Development Cell, Punjab University, to kindly deliver the formal vote of thanks. Professor Meenakshi.
Honorable Vice Chancellor Ma'am, respected dignitaries on the dais, esteemed guests, distinguished faculty members, research scholars, dear students, good morning to all of you. It is my proud privilege to propose a formal vote of thanks on this momentous occasion marking the inauguration of the 18th Chandigarh Science Congress, a confluence of intellect, innovation and inspiration. On behalf of the organizing committee and the Research and Development Cell, Punjab University, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Renu Ved, for her gracious presence and her inspiring inaugural address. Madam, your visionary leadership continues to motivate us to strengthen Punjab University's research ecosystem and to align our academic pursuits with national and global priorities. We are deeply honored by the presence of our chief guest, Dr. Sanjay Kumar, Chairman, Agriculture Scientist Recruitment Board, ICAR, Government of India. Sir, your words have truly inspired us. Your remarkable journey and contributions to science-led innovation and the bioeconomy remind us of the transformative power of research when it connects with society and industry. Our sincere thanks to our keynote speaker, Shri R.R. Mittal, Member Tribe, for his highly insightful address. Sir, your vast experience in telecommunications, standardization, and emerging technologies like 5G and IoT provided valuable perspectives on how science and technology can be harnessed to empower humanity in the digital age. We extend our gratitude to our guest of honor, Sanjeev Singh Sethi, Managing Director of Gillard Electronics Private Limited and CEO of Gillard Application Programmers LLP. Sir, your emphasis on innovative Industry 4.0 and human-centered leadership has given us much to reflect upon, especially as we strive to strengthen academia-industry linkages. A special word of appreciation goes to Professor Kashmir Singh for introducing the theme of CHASCON 2025 and setting the intellectual tone for this 3-day event. His continued commitment to nurturing scientific dialogue and collaboration across disciplines is truly commendable. We are also thankful to Professor Yojana Rawat, Dean University Instruction, for sparing time for this event. We also acknowledge the collective efforts of all faculty conveners, organizing committee members, volunteers, administrative staff, and students whose tireless dedication had made this event possible. Your teamwork exemplifies the spirit of collaboration that CHASCON stands for. To all participants, paper presenters, and researchers, thank you for being an integral part of this Congress. Your presence and enthusiasm ensure that CHASCON remains a vibrant platform for exchanging ideas and fostering innovation for societal good. Finally, I extend heartfelt thanks to the media representatives, collaborating partners, sponsors, and technical support team for helping us reach a wider audience and ensuring the smooth conduct of today's proceedings. As we move forward with the technical sessions and deliberations over the next few days, let us carry with the spirit of conference theme, Empowering Humanity, Science, Technology, and Healthcare for All, and reaffirm our shared commitment to advancing science for the betterment of society. Once again, thank you all for your gracious presence and participation. Jai.
Thank you, ma'am, for your heartfelt words and leading this magnificent work behind the scenes. With the inaugural ceremony coming to close, we now proceed to the inauguration of Expo CHASCON 2025 at the Law Auditorium grounds, where scientific posters and innovations are on display. We invite all our dignitaries and delegates to visit the Expo and interact with our innovators. But before we move outside for the inauguration of Expo CHASCON, I have a few announcements to make. First, please join us for the networking tea outside the auditorium after venturing through the Expo CHASCON. और शाम को यहीं पर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑडिटोरियम में एक कल्चरल प्रोग्राम का, जो कि हमारी संस्कृति और संगीत के साथ आप सबको जोड़ने के लिए हमने रखा है, उसका आयोजन किया गया है। आप सभी से निवेदन है, कृपया 6:45 तक आप इस ऑडिटोरियम में बैठ जाएं। एग्जैक्टली 7 बजे हमारा रंगारंग कार्यक्रम शुरू हो जाएगा। Also, I also request you to kindly join us back for the first technical session exactly 30 minutes after we leave this auditorium. So kindly join us back around 12:25 p.m. Thank you.
दिखा मैंने दिखा ये 8-9 बजे चलता रहना है हाँ
ध्यान से
खाना